Okay, here's a learning curve chance thing. Okay, here's the thing. Compressor burnt up. So you go to spin the clutch. This puppy is tight. The pulley spins, as you can see, the pulley. This is a pulley, that's a belt. That has nothing to do with the compressor's internals. The clutch is jammed up. So this came off the Desert Runner that I did a couple months ago. You seen a video on, and what do you see? I don't know why I see red in there. Red is an odd color. That's not my dye, because my dye is greenish orange. But look at this fitting. This is discharge. This is suction. Now you see the suction is nice, clean, and dry. But if you look at the discharge, it's black and gray. So that should be shiny, bright metal. It should not be black or gray. It took a lot of heat to do that. But why was there heat? So what was discovered was up in the condenser case, this is an aftermarket like Red Dot or whatever kind of system, the receiver dryer was not attached well enough. It was vibrating around and made a crack, and a fitting leaked. It slowly lost its charge. Well, as you lose your charge, your refrigerant level goes down, your mass quantity of refrigerant goes down, your volume goes down. So as you lose your charge and you're spinning your compressor relies on a cold flow of refrigerant coming back to it to keep the compressor cool. That is your coolant, just like an engine has a radiator, and it goes through a radiator, it cools down the coolant and returns to your engine so you don't blow up your engine, you overheat it. Same thing, when you run low on refrigerant, you overheat. But not only do you do that, as you run down on your mass volume of refrigerant goes down, refrigerant leaves with oil. As it leaves with oil, it goes through and the oil accumulates back in the evaporator and it does not return. So now you have dry refrigerant coming back with no oil in it, and it's very hot refrigerant with no cooling capability coming back to. So you lost your cooling ability and you're losing your oil ability. But now you have this oil-free hot refrigerant oil returning to your compressor, and it's going into compressor, and as the pistons are going back and forth, that dry oil-free refrigerant wants to grab onto something, and it's a beautiful solvent for grabbing more oil. So what's it do? As the pistons are going back and forth and the swash plate is going around, that fresh charge of dry oil is going in there, grabbing onto refrigerant, and is coming out as a discharge high pressure gas containing a small amount of oil. And it's continuously going back and cleaning the compressor of all its lubricant. Hence, you got a blown out compressor. And this is the oil plug removed, and turning it over, not one drop of oil comes out. This thing is bone dry. And you go, oh, it all leaked out into the air. No, it didn't all leak out into the air. Most of it's probably up in the evaporator on the return lines and everything like that. That's where all this oil is. But to show you the scenario in which it's being used in, it's in a Desert Runner. This is not your mom and dad's Toyota or Ford Exploder. Well, it exploded, so this is what it has on it. It has a red dot unit on it, and that's where the condenser is, and the evaporator. Oh yeah, and the evaporator is up in here. This is, if you remember the very old video, the evaporator was down here, and there's cooling hoses that would like go up to your helmets and everything like that. Well, he redid it and did some ducting, and also did, so you can see the ducting come down. So that is your supply and your return all in one, and you have your condenser up there, so you can see your supply and your return, which kind of should have more of a separation, so because there'll be a little bit of suck loop around, but I think he probably has nozzles that hook up. So you see those little, that hole there and that there. I think he's gonna have something that has porting on it, because you will need porting, because you don't want that suck around going in there. And that's it. I'm gonna throw, let's see if I can get you a little more. There's your condenser right there. The evaporator's inside. You can see the lines right there. And yeah, oh yeah, some of you guys want to see this. I remember somebody wanted to know about that. So this is how your steering wheel comes off like that, really easy. This is what it looks like in the cockpit. You kind of think of an airplane. Here's your pedals. Here's your brake system. This is definitely not your normal vehicle. And there's your roll cage up there. Got a lot of sound deadening material. As you can see, I know some of you, this is, and it's loud. You definitely need earplugs. All right, I'll hook up my vacuum pump onto this and we'll get going. Here's the new compressor. I can spin it. And you always want to spin your new compressors to make sure there's no oil in transport that's not sitting on top of the pistons. So when the clutch engage and it spins the internals, you don't try to compress a liquid. That's not a good day for a compressor. All right guys, get back to you on the next one.